In today's video we're checking out this. It's the ABIS HD6K 4th generation projector. It's a full 1080p projector at a pretty decent budget price. Okay, so a big thank you to ABIS for sending me out this. It's their HD6K 4th gen projector. So we're going to unbox this and check it out, do a few different tests with it. If you've watched my channel before, you're going to know that I've got a couple of other projectors that I've looked at in the past that were kind of very budget, low-end projectors that I was using specifically just for some of the Atmos FX Halloween and Christmas projections. We're going to look at those for this as well. This is a slightly more premium product, retails around £250. I'll put some links in the description. So we're going to check that out with the Atmos stuff, because now it's getting up to Halloween and Christmas, perfect time to kind of do some of these projection stuff. But also what with COVID and people being stuck at home, now is another time to consider perhaps a projector to have your kind of home movies and stuff. So we look at that on my projection screen as well. So just before we unbox it, we'll talk about a couple of specs and why hopefully this is going to be a good projector to check out. So it's got pretty good brightness of 6,000 lumens from a 120 watt LED lamp. The lamp should last a good amount of time. Obviously it's going to depend how often you use it. With all projectors, you don't want to just turn it on off kind of just like you would a TV. If you just change your mind after 2 minutes, you want to kind of let the lamp warm up and stuff. And so you're going to get somewhere between kind of 10,000 to 50,000 hours depending on how you look after the projector and use it. One of the things that's kind of cool about this projector is you don't need to have a computer or something connected up to it. On board it has basically a little inbuilt ARM kind of computer that you can hopefully stream Netflix and YouTube and other things through, which we'll take a look at as well. So in there is an ARM Cortex A7 quad-core 1.1 gigahertz processor. It's got a Mali 4506 6-core GPU, 1 gigabyte DDR3 RAM and 8 gigabytes eMMC ROM. So in terms of its projection, it has the ability to project in full HD, so 1080p, so 1920 by 1080, but also supports 2K and 4K inputs. In terms of projection, obviously with all projectors it's going to depend on how close or far away you are from what you're projecting on, but you should get somewhere from 40 to 200 inches screen. We'll see how noisy it is, but it should be around 25 decibels, so relatively kind of quiet and shouldn't be kind of too overpowering. Again, we'll see once we turn it on. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to trying out on this, and we will if you have time, is the fact that it has Bluetooth support, so you can have a Bluetooth a Bluetooth speaker connected up to this, which is great for the Halloween and Christmas stuff, because you can have a speaker kind of set up somewhere that enables things to make it a bit more eerie, but obviously Wi-Fi as well, so it can connect to your Wi-Fi network for kind of streaming from Netflix and YouTube and what have you. So let's get this thing unboxed, see what it looks like, see what cables come with it, and then we'll set it up and do some tests. Okay, so opening the box, it's pretty straightforward, good quality but basic packaging, which is absolutely fine. Inside we have a black box. Let's move it over here for a second. See what we have inside. So we're here in the UK, so 3-pin kettle plug, so kind of standard stuff that you'd have with a PC or what have you. HDMI lead, so that's good. It's always good when someone provides you with the leads you need to get things connected. A jack plug to RCA connector, so if you wanted to connect that to your amp or something, that should be a possibility. A remote control. I don't think there's any batteries in here. Let's see. This comes apart. Like just the whole thing just snaps off. Okay, so it requires 2 AAA batteries, not included, so I have to grab some of those. Then we get a little bit of kind of information about what the projector has in terms of connectivity, kind of how to get things set up. Basically a quick start guide. A little bit of marketing material there. Access to electronic user manuals with videos, so we'll check that out as well, so that's any good, can do a little overlay. And there is a spare fuse, which kind of unexpected, but there we go, not sure, just in case the fuse blows, I guess. So I'll pop these things back in the box, move them out of the way, and then get the projector out. Okay, so release the projector. Okay. So just kind of a nice cushioned material that keep this in. Just pop those to either side, and then unleash the projector itself. So it's a pretty good size and got a decent weight to it actually. Let's close this up. Have a look around the projector itself. So again, good size. Do the old plastic removals. Ooh. So good. Okay, so it's got a nice kind of brushed aluminium feel to it. I'll just turn this around so we can see. We've got a few different things going on here. So nice solid feel buttons actually for navigation. On and off button there, a back return button there, and an S and an M button. Obviously not sure what they're for yet. Focus ring just here. Oh, we've got 2 things. So one's a focus ring and the other one maybe for keystoning. We'll try that out in a bit. To the front we have the infrared LED sensor, obviously for the remote. We have a nice dust cover to protect the lens there, which is good. Feels nice and solid. On the bottom here is a little adjustable nut for kind of raising the angle of it, and then some rubber feet, so 4 rubber feet. Underneath these rubber feet, if you peel them off, you'll find the holes for the projector mounting for the ceiling. So if you get a projection mount, this is what you'll have to do, take these off to connect to the appropriate mount, and then some kind of access thing for maintenance in there. Look around the sides. So there's a couple of holes here. Looks like they've got heat sinks inside, so I'm going to assume that's where the fan noise is going to come from when we turn this off. And on the other side, again, just looks like some air holes as opposed to heating or cooling, I should say. On the back, we've also got a sticker that's covering up our power plug hole, but we can just remove that. Like that. So we have the power hole and the on and off switch, which is good. And then here we have obviously our input connectors as well, along with another infrared input. So obviously whether this is mounted in front or behind, you'll be able to control it with the remote control. So again, we have VGA, Ethernet, a couple of USBs, 2 HDMI inputs, an RCA video input, along with audio out and audio in. So a good variety of connectors, and again, it feels like a really nice solid product. I think yeah, whatever way you're going to have that mounted, it's going to be good. So I'm going to move things around a little bit, get things plugged in to the power. We'll project onto the projection screen here in the cave to start off with, check it out with some movies, see what the connectivity is like, and take it from there. Okay, so we're going to show a few things in this demonstration now. So we're going to start off with it just in daylight, so give you a rough idea of what it's like in daylight viewing. Obviously with most projectors you're going to want it in a dark area, which we will kind of close the blackout blinds in a moment. So when you load up, this is what you've got access to. So it's preloaded on the Android OS with YouTube, Kodi, Netflix, Aptitude TV, some Office stuff. We basically have a few different options, which we'll quickly look at. So we have different signal sources. So the PC RGB, the AV inputs, HDMI 1 and 2. Options to download things from your network if you've got that set up. Access to the internal storage, as well as access to USB devices. One thing I also found that's pretty cool, if you plug in a USB keyboard and USB mouse, you then have the option to move around and navigate the systems not using the remote control all the time, which is pretty cool. We go to app, there's obviously options here for a browser, different players, do some upgrades. If there's firmware upgrades and stuff available, you can change your themes and stuff. If you go into settings, first thing you want to do is connect to your Wi-Fi network, which I've done already, but it's pretty straightforward. I'll just show you what that looks like. You just select your Wi-Fi network, put in your password, and away you go. This Mcast is something that I thought was a little bit like broadcasting across to, some kind of, the Google Puck that you can use. I couldn't get this to work properly, but it may just be that my iPhone can't connect to it. Set it up as a Wi-Fi hotspot, connect to a wired network and Bluetooth. So we will connect a Bluetooth speaker at the end just to see what that sounds like. But from now, we're just going to start off with sound coming from the speakers of the projector itself. It does sound pretty good. Got different options for image settings, for obviously how the projector is working and to calibrate things a little bit. So one of the trickiest things with all projectors, but a little bit more so with this kind of entry-level budget-priced one, is you do have keystoning options, but only kind of forward and backwards tilting, not left and right. So you are somewhat limited in terms of how much keystone correction you can do, and obviously some adjustment with the focus ring. But as you can see, the image quality is actually pretty good text-wise. There is a slight little bit of blurriness, but nothing that's off-putting when it comes to watching movies and video content. Maybe a little bit disruptive if you're trying to look at written documents and presentations, but I wouldn't say that's what you've bought this projector for. This is really for playing games, watching movies, and again, my favorite, projecting some sort of Christmas or Halloween Atmos FX. So let's quickly show you what we have in the options for playing things. So here we have the App Store. You obviously need to have a Google Play account, but once you're in there, you can download multiple things from the App Store and install them on this device, which is pretty straightforward. Just go back. And we will look at something on YouTube as a daylight test, and then we'll also load up something from a USB device as well, and we will perhaps play a PlayStation game at the end. So let's just see what we've got.
The little things we do help protect the little things we love.
I don't know how well it comes across, but the sound is really good.
Check out this. It's a new Honda E.
But you can see there that the image quality was pretty good. We're just going to switch to USB drive and then show you what that looks like. Okay, so with the USB drive in there, you can see it wants us to open that, which we will look at here. Let's load up some Ghostly Apparitions 3 from Atmos FX and show you what that looks like. And then we'll make everything dark to give you a better idea of how things look. Okay, so I'm going to close the blinds now. So it'll be a nice dark image, which is really what you want for your home cinema setup. And then we'll try it out. Okay, so obviously not night time, but we're trying to replicate that with the blackout blinds. So again, we'll play the same footage. Again, this Atmos FX footage, so you can see what that looks like. I don't know how well it comes across on the camera, obviously, because we're trying to capture this in low level lights, but the image quality is really good, especially for the price. And again, you can see here the blurring element that I've spoken about, but it doesn't affect the video quality really. Let's see if the internet's working a little bit better this time.
Find your thing feel. Find your feeling.
Of course.
Beautiful furniture, properly made, at great prices. That's the...
In today's video we're checking out this. It's a new Honda E. Okay, so I'm with one of the subscribers, Julian, who's got this lovely Honda E. Just going for a little drive around, so we'll have some B-roll as we go through things. Okay, now we're connected up to a HDMI source, so you can see what that looks like as well. Okay, so here we're connected up via the Amazon Fire TV. So again, we're just putting a bit of Grand Tour or something. So as you can see, this is a 120-inch screen, but I can't move the projector quite far enough away to fill the whole screen in this setup. But again, you can see nice clear image. There's no sound from the Fire TV, unfortunately, just because I have it currently set up to optical. But you heard already the sound is pretty damn good. So what we'll do now is we will switch to the PlayStation, so we can have a little look at what gaming footage looks like on this projector as well. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to cover quickly is connecting this up to a Bluetooth speaker. So we just go across to settings and down to Bluetooth. So I have a Anchor Soundcore 2 here, which we'll just turn on. You should see that get connected. Okay, so now the sound we're going to hear next is going to be coming out of this Soundcore 2. So go back to our USB drive again. Okay, so turn the lights back on and time for me to summarise my thoughts on the HD6K 4th Gen projector from ABIS. I actually think it's really good for the price point. So again, £200–250, I think it presents a really good value for money. So if you compare it to some of the other kind of projector manufacturers, again, this is at the lower end of the budget, but I think it's got really good image quality. Again, aside from that, not greatness with text. So again, I wouldn't use this projector personally for projections that have written content on, but it works pretty well for movies, for gaming, for these Atmos FX stuff. And I really like the fact that you have the option, obviously, to use a Bluetooth speaker, either something like this that you might hide in a bush if you are projecting onto a window or an outside projection, but also connect up to some much beefier Bluetooth speakers, and then you're pretty much good to go in terms of a home cinema setup. So obviously I have a screen here. You could project onto a wall. You can just have your Bluetooth speaker connected and stream live content from the projector itself, plug in a USB, do whatever you want, and you're gonna have good video quality. So again, I think this is really good. Thanks again to ABIS for sending it out. If you want a projector that's gonna be projecting in an office with text and stuff on, I think you want something else, but this is perfect for gaming, movies, and for the Atmos FX stuff. The other thing I just quickly mentioned, I think I mentioned it earlier though, this projector is not 2K, it's not 4K. It can handle 2K and 4K inputs, but it will downscale it to full HD 1920 by 1080. So keep that in mind, but yeah, it's got a thumbs up from me. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.